What's up, tea drinkers? Who's ready to spill? Welcome to The Tea with KG, hosted by your girl, Kaylee Grace. Here you'll find your weekly boost of real talk mixed with laughter, healing, and all of those vulnerable, messy moments in between. The Tea with KG is a safe space for you to show up exactly as you are. We are here to share real-life stories from around the globe and be a community of love, joy, and celebrating life. This is a real deal show, so there will be coarse language and sensitive topics discussed. The most beautiful stories oftentimes emerge from the darkest of places, and we're here to explore it all. There's room for everyone at this tea time, so grab your drink of choice, spark it up, or just relax and soak it up. Cheers, and let's spill. What's up, tea drinkers? We are back with another episode of The Tea with KG, and we have a beautiful soul sister joining us, Kaitlyn Jardine. Yay! We are so excited to have you with us today. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to grace us with your presence.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Of course. So excited.
I'm excited to be here. I'm so happy that you asked me to do this.
Yay, of course. Well, I'm super excited about the topic that we're hitting on today. We are going to be talking about body image. I know the title left a little bit to the imagination, but it's going to be all about body image. I guess I'll do a trigger warning now. We will be discussing disordered eating, self-esteem, everything in that kind of ballpark. And also just a disclaimer, neither one of us are health professionals or nutritionists. We are just sharing our experiences because we know so many people have also been through things like this, or maybe are currently going through this, or know someone. And it's just important to share this type of stuff because sometimes these topics aren't discussed enough and they're not taboo. Like, it's real life. And that's why we're here to share where we've come from and what we've learned, and maybe it'll help somebody along the way. So just wanted to throw that out there before we get going. And yeah, so I guess we'll start with the who are you and what do you do?
Okay, well, I'm Kaitlyn. I'm a photographer from New Brunswick. My day job's not super flashy, so we're going to go with I'm a photographer.
Yes, I feel that.
So I shoot mostly families and engagements, newborns, starting to dabble in some weddings, getting my foot out there. I started doing photography 2019. I actually always felt really called to do it, but I didn't take the plunge until just recently. And yeah, and I mean, anybody that like wants to do something that's they know they want to do it, but they're scared, just do it. Nobody knows what you're doing in the beginning. Your first session is gonna suck. Your first podcast is probably gonna suck. Like all of that, but it's fine. It's how we learn and grow, and like just do it. Just do it.
Yes, girl.
Words of wisdom off the bat.
Preach. Oh my God, yes. We're starting this episode off perfectly. What she's saying is so true. And like, I have known Kaitlyn for years and we're super tight besties, and she's just a beautiful soul. And I've watched her photography journey. I was her guinea pig. I was like, take my picture. Like, I'll be your person. Like,
oh my gosh, we did so many good sessions in the beginning.
Right? I was like, just practice on me. Like, and it's good too if you are like, let's just use photography for an example. If you have friends, use them. Like,
yes.
practice.
Support your friends.
Yes. Oh my God. Supporting your friends is so easy. Like, if you have friends who are, you know, they have a small business, they're network marketing, they're doing a podcast, they're doing whatever it is they're doing that's extra or whatever, they're following their dreams. It's so easy to support them. Go like a picture on their Instagram page. It's free for you. You're scrolling anyway. Double tap. Like, come on.
Like, there's so many things we can do to support each other that costs $0 and makes a huge difference. Like, even just like a like on a photo, like for someone like us with a small business and we're trying to make it in something, like, oh, it's huge. It's huge. And it, like, every like I appreciate so much. So
yes, it's true. Same here. And it's like, it's not the validation. It's to me, it's that extra confirmation that what you're doing is right. Because like that stuff, we both know, like that stuff doesn't really matter because you're following your heart and your creativity. But
Mhm.
that extra support, it's support. It helps. When you're an entrepreneur, support is everything. You know
It's
what I mean?
yeah, I
Yeah.
totally agree. And I don't know if I said it already, but I'm so excited to be here and to be
Yay.
part of this. Oh my gosh, like I'm so proud of you for doing this. Don't, oh
Thank you.
my God, already getting a little bit emotional, but
She's a Cancer and my rising sign is
yeah,
Cancer. So there's a lot of water emotional stuff here.
there's gonna be probably tears at some point. Already happening.
Yeah. We're gonna get real, real, real. So yeah,
Yeah.
there could be some emotions. Oh my gosh, I love it. So yeah, we could go on tangents as you could tell. So we're gonna dive into our topic here today. So we both have a really long history when it comes to body image, all of the things in that ballpark. We'll probably be using a few different terminologies, but I'll probably say body image a lot just because it seems to encompass a lot of the things that I'm talking about. So uh, we're both gonna kind of share where we started, where we're at, and yeah. So when it comes to childhood, that's definitely where it started for me, and it makes my heart actually break when I look back now because I'm like, how were you 5? Literally, I have memories, 5 years old, of thinking I was too fat. And like I wasn't a skinny child. Definitely had some fluff, but I was by no means overweight or obese or fat. Like all kids, not all kids, but like growing up, you know what I mean? Like depending on your body, whatever, you can have a little chub on you. And I did, and but I was very active, but I will never forget, like on the bus, I was 5, and like a little boy was like called me fatso, and I literally, I'm how old am I? We won't talk about that, but like I can still remember that, like,
My gosh.
and it scarred me, and I felt so much shame, and like I just was like shocked, one, that someone would say that to me. I was like, what? And it really, really got me, and like even family members, I can remember at like it was some sort of party we were having, and I won't say who the person was, but I remember who they were. It was a family member, and there was like a fruit tray on the table, so I picked up a strawberry and I was eating it, and she looked at me, she's like, she made it a big deal, like she was trying to embarrass me, and it was mortifying in front of everyone. She's like, you're still eating? And I was like, I turned red so easy, so I'm sure I was 50 shades of red, and it was horrible. And then she proceeded to go, every time I look, she's like, nom nom, like she was doing this motion with her hands, like I wouldn't stop eating, and I was like mortified. I'm pretty sure I went to my room after that because I was like, who says that to a little child? Like,
My gosh. Like a
not,
child. Like
yeah.
a child. It's so sad when you think about how young women are when they start experiencing these things. Like I had similar experiences in my childhood where, just little comments on the side, but those things stick with you and you're a child. Like you're supposed to eat and nourish your body and like
Yes. Not be shamed for it.
it's
Like,
unbelievable. It's so sad. Like it's just so sad to think about how young we are. Like you said, you were 5. Like I could think
yeah.
young too. Like probably, maybe 10 is when my issues probably started. And like, um, yeah, like I can remember like sucking in and doing all of
Mm-hmm.
this, right? Like I'm so young, and I'm like, I was a child. Like you're
Yeah.
not supposed
Always
to.
sucking in, always squeezing my fat to see how much was there. Like all these crazy fucked up things that are fucked up. I don't care. They're fucked up. Like that's not cool to do to yourself. And to have it that low self-worth, like that's always what it translates to. It's your self-worth and your self-esteem. And like my self-esteem was so shit growing up. Like it may not have been noticeable maybe to people. I don't know. I was a kid. I don't know how I was perceived by others, but
Mm.
inside I felt no love towards myself. Because basically growing up, like I grew up in the 90s, and that was the era of the stick thin supermodel. Anyone who loves fashion or grew up in the 90s, if you look back, that was the aesthetic. And like the modeling industry has come so far thanks to the body positivity movement.
Yes.
Thank the Lord. But in that time, it was, if you're not stick thin, you're not going to be a model. And like, that's what I loved, like, celebrities growing up, like the Spice Girls, Britney Spears. Like, I loved them all. I always looked up to celebrities because I loved watching music videos. And I was a little performer. Like, I was in my room with my hairbrush dancing and singing and like trying to look like them. I wanted to be like them because those were my role models. That's who I looked up to. And seeing their bodies in the magazines, like, I was always striving to look like that. And another thing I remember a lot as a kid is in like the grocery stores, the magazines are always by the
Yeah.
checkout, right?
Yes.
And seeing like all the titles, lose weight, lose weight, lose. It was always about losing weight, always like the girls on them with the measuring tapes. Look how much weight I lost before and after, like Slim Fast. Do you remember those commercials? Like,
yeah, it was so ingrained in us so early. And I mean, it still happened. Like, obviously, things have come quite a long way, but it's still everywhere. Like,
oh, for
everywhere.
sure.
But isn't it wild to think about how much, like, that was just such a, like, prominent thing on my brain for so much of my life. And I'm like, there's so much more I could have put in my brain.
Yeah. Oh, I love that you just said that.
Of, self-talk and like self-sabotage, all of that, right?
Yes. Oh my God. I love that you said that. It was all consuming. That I never really thought of it in that way, but it's so fucking true. It did consume me 100%. My world revolved around punishing myself for eating, being shameful for eating, and shame is the biggest word I can think of. And to have people close to you in your life. And of course, there's going to be bullies on the bus. Bullies, they're always going to be there. But to have your family, certain members, like, not, it wasn't my parents. My mom always was like, "You're so beautiful." Like, she didn't say that, but like, other family members would say these things. And it's not appropriate ever, because it wasn't being said out of love. It wasn't being said with pure intentions. It was being said to shame and embarrass me. Like, that's fucked up. I'm sorry. I'm on a roll with that story now. I'm having like vivid flashbacks.
Like, what did they get out of saying those things to us? What did it bring them joy?
Exactly. And it causes like a constant state of judgment for us as kids growing up. And that's kind of like how we morph. Because like, I feel that beauty was always related to weight growing up. Like, did you feel that when you were growing up?
Yeah. And it would just break my heart. Like, I have two nieces and they're so young, and it would break my heart if they felt the same way. So I feel like I'm so careful with the words that I choose around them. And that's like coming from, breaking those cycles of, it's just so ingrained in us and it's hard to break.
It's so, oh girl, oh my God, guys, just you wait till we get into this, because the journey started there. But oh my God. Like, another thing I vividly remember as a kid is like trying jeans in particular in the dressing room. I literally remember being in tears at points in the dressing room because you're embarrassed to say your size, because you're like, you think your size is your worth, and you think if it's bigger, it's bad. It's not.
No,
it's just your body. Like, it's not bad. And yeah, when you try jeans on and they don't fit, and it's just, oh my God, I remember what store it was, what changing room it was. Like, not a good time.
Oh my gosh, we tie so much of our self-worth to our jean size. Like, and I did for so long, and actually just recently I had to order new jeans, and like those negative thoughts started to creep in, and I was like, no, I want to be comfortable. I want to be supported in my jeans. I am not supposed to fit a certain size. Like, they're made to fit me, not the other way around.
Yeah. Oh, say it again. Say that again. I like that.
So just order the jeans. Just order the new jeans. It's okay. It's okay if you're like, when you grow, like, it is what it is. That's life.
Yeah.
It's like grow in season and constantly changing, right?
And you know what else I love is like those pictures. I've seen them on social media. It's like, it shows jeans that are all the same size. Anyone who's listening, not watching, I just did air quotes. And all the genes fluctuate depending on where you buy them. And as a young person, that was really challenging for me. Now I don't give a fuck. I'm like, if I have to wear that size, I don't care. But let me tell you, getting to this point was not a walk in the park. I'm in my 30s. I'm just gonna say it loud and proud. I'm 30 fucking 3, and it took me a long time to get here.
It's a privilege to grow old.
Yes, and we're gonna look damn fine doing it.
Yes, we are.
Cheers to that, tea drinkers.
But oh my gosh, I remember like my goal was to fit into a 0. I remember that so vividly.
Mhm.
I was young, right? Like,
Oh, if you were
you see a pile of jeans and you want to be at the top, at the 0.
remember friends being like, "Oh, it's a 00." I'm like, "What the fuck is a 00?"
Right. Oh, you're
It's
freaking
so
up on me
true.
about.
Oh, am I good?
Oh, 1 sec. Okay, I think you're good now.
Technology loves to do what it wants.
I
Are we
know.
okay?
I think we're okay.
I think the last guest I had, it did a little, but it seemed to be fine as we kept going. So let's pray, technology. We told you this is a real deal show, so you get it all. Is there any other particular moments from your childhood you remember vividly?
Oh my gosh, like so many. I remember, days where I would be like, I can't eat today. Like, I don't want to eat today because if I eat, then I won't look how I want to look. And oh my gosh, I remember being so hungry one day when I came home and I was just miserable. And I like can't believe I would ever put myself through a day like that. Like,
The punishment, right?
breaking. Like it makes me so sad to think about who I was then. And
Mhm.
it really wasn't that long ago, right? That I was like, portioning out little like, plates of
Yeah.
like oh my gosh. And then binging at
Oh,
night.
for sure. Yeah, like unhealthy habits. That was another thing. I didn't watch healthy habits growing up. And I think that's really important as I've grown. Like when I eventually have kids, I want to make sure like I show them health, not just
Mhm.
physically, but mentally, because they're one and the same. Like your mental well being in regards to your relationship with food and exercise is
Mhm.
it's just as important as what it does to you physically. Like maybe more so.
Yeah.
Like
And like when you say that, like, when I was growing up, my email, please stop. I hope you can't hear those. I thought I put myself on notification off, but
it's all good.
but yeah, when we were growing up, we didn't have, a lot of money, so we ate what we ate, and
Mhm.
we didn't have that education of, what does a balanced plate of food look like? We ate, sometimes we eat a beautiful meal, and then some nights it was TV dinners, and
Yeah.
like we didn't have that education at home. I remember this really well, actually. When I was in high school, like one of our classes, we had to write down the food we ate in a day, and that was our assignment. And
What?
so it was kind of broken down by the food groups at the time.
Okay.
And
I
it was,
remember that food group guide thing. That was way
yes,
off.
our assignment was to write down what we ate in those food groups in a day. And I remember I had nothing that was in a food group because it was one of those nights where we just ate what we had.
Yep.
I remember going to school the next day and I didn't have my assignment done because what am I going to write down?
Yeah.
It was probably the only time I've ever gotten angry at a teacher for asking me about it. It was just such a like, I was embarrassed.
Yeah.
I remember feeling embarrassed and yeah, it's so hard because, when we grew up, we didn't learn about that. And when I was finally able to like buy my own meals and stuff, like that's when I started to explore, what's a protein? What's a
Yes.
carbohydrate? Like, isn't that crazy? I didn't know what any of those things were. Yeah, I remember that quite vividly. That was rough.
Wow. Wow. Just wow.
I
Like
know.
And you know what's wild is like what we're sharing right now, I'm sure doesn't even scratch the surface of
No.
everything, right?
Gosh, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. And like what I found too is what we've learned from a younger age, we brought with us into the teenage years and into the university years. Like I said, punished myself. I was like a sucker for punishment. And it's weird, but like, not that I felt good about it, but like it, I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say, but like, let's just say I was exercising really, really hard. Even though I was punishing myself for eating, I felt like satisfied with it in a fucked up way. I'm not saying that was
That's
healthy.
all you knew. That's all your brain,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And like I found as I came into university, I was so self-destructive with myself. Like obviously, like party a lot. I love to have fun, but I would binge and then I would throw up. Like I definitely did suffer from some bulimia. Like I wouldn't say I did it every meal, but when I look back, I'm like, you shouldn't be doing it at all. Like being like, oh, don't worry, I'll eat this and then I'll just go throw it up. It's fine. And I approached it like that, so nonchalant, like, just throw up. It's fine. No, it's not fine. Like,
No. It's not
but
fun.
no, but it definitely became like a bad habit. And I grew out of it. I don't know how, but I just eventually stopped. But the not eating, like even sometimes when I was traveling, like I would just not eat. And I don't know if it's because I was nervous or what was going on, but I was embarrassed to eat in front of people for a really long time. And it was probably because comments were made to me when I
Yes.
was eating. And like eating in front of a guy on a date, it took me so long to be comfortable eating in front of like a date.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that you say that. My partner and I, our first date outside of like in public, we went to a restaurant. So I don't know if everybody knows what Montana's is, but we're in Atlanta. Montana's is like a barbecue kind of
Yep,
place, and it's delicious. And
it is.
I remember ordering a salad because I didn't want to be putting huge forkfuls of food in my mouth and just like picking at I was so hungry afterwards. Like, and I told him that story after we got comfortable with each other. And he was
Hmm.
like, what the heck? He was like, I would never have like dumped you because you wanted to eat. Like, it's so crazy that my brain was like, you can't eat in front of him because he'll think less of you.
Yes.
My gosh, like looking back, that's just so fucked up. Like it's
Right.
fucked up.
And I totally can relate. Like, oh my God, like, and I would just like, yeah, like not eat or eat very little. And sometimes you're like, oh, you didn't like your food? It's because I didn't want to eat it. Like, I loved it, but I was like scared to eat. Like,
My gosh, yes. Ugh.
and like, it's just wild. And I noticed like my self-destructive years were definitely my early 20s. Like, I did not treat my body with respect or kindness in any way, shape, or form. I feel like I was definitely like, it was related to everything from childhood, but also like I was going through other things in my adult life, so that probably wasn't helping, and it was just like a vicious cycle. And like I did the roller coasters, I did all of the things. I would drink these shakes for
Oh,
most of my meals and not eat once a day. Like, you know what I mean? Just very, very unhealthy habits because I was just so focused on if I just lose weight, I'll be beautiful. If I just lose weight, I'll feel better. Finally, I'll finally love myself. And it's like, no, you should love yourself no matter where you're at, and the rest will translate.
yeah, absolutely. I had sort of an opposite experience of that. I didn't go to university, so I kind of stayed here and I started going to the gym when I graduated. And I found that for a long time, I related a lot of my self-worth to fitness and health. And
Mm.
what I perceived as health, I guess, looking back, wasn't so healthy. I definitely, and this is real thing, I had an exercise addiction. Okay, that is a
Yes.
real thing. If you think you have an exercise addiction, you probably, hi, Vincent.
I'm sorry. He's like, I hear auntie.
Sorry. So cute right now.
Everyone needs to just watch the YouTube because you'll get to see all these funny things that happen.
Oh my gosh, she's so cute. But yeah, so I realized that I had an exercise addiction. I was like working out a lot and not resting, and you need to rest, especially if you want to be an athlete. You need to take your rest days and sleep.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I threw myself into fitness, and then I would meal prep, and of course that's good. Like it's good.
Yes.
I was trying to nourish myself any way that I knew how to nourish myself, because like I said, I didn't have that education growing up.
Right.
So, I didn't eat nearly enough like I should have. But yeah, so I kind of had the opposite sort of like
in that time frame.
Early adulthood, yeah.
Yeah. I find I eventually get into where you're at. I'm like my journey's like this.
Yes.
It's true. Because like the whole time, like I've always been active since childhood. Like I was a competitive swimmer. I was like I used to figure skate, and I'd have to have my bathing suit on under my skating stuff to get to swim practice right after I was done skating. God. Like, yeah, it was too much. It was way too much. Like, and just because I wanted to do everything, but eventually I had to cut down. So in high school, I lifeguarded and taught swimming, but then that's when I discovered the gym, was that time frame. So in university, I'm very like, I get bored so easy. So this is very typical for me. Like I'll be really obsessed with one type of workout, and then I switch, and then I switch, and then I switch. Like that's just very me. So in university too, but it wasn't healthy. It was, again, I punished myself with the exercise. It wasn't fun. The only things I had fun with in university exercise wise was when I would swim laps in the pool, or I did hip hop. I loved that because it was, well, obviously I love to dance.
Oh my gosh, it's so important now. Like that's one of the main things for me, is if I'm going to be working out, I'm going to be having fun with what I'm doing.
Yes. Preach, mama.
Myself. I'm working out for movement. I'm working out for my mental health. I'm working out to get stronger.
Yes.
Gosh, that's changed so much over the years, where it went from being kind of aesthetic to now I have, that's a tip for you guys. Like if you set goals that are not related to your body appearance, set goals like strength goals, set goals, mental health. Like I want to work out once a day for 15 minutes, go for a walk for my mental state.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. I'm like, yes. It's true. I feel like for me, I eventually got to a healthy place with that kind of mindset. It was probably my later 20s was when I eventually got there. And that was it. I finally found something that clicked with me nutrition wise. And I see Nikki, her cat's right there.
He never comes here.
He's like, hello. He's so funny. My last guest I had, her cat made an appearance too. Like they can hear me. They're like, I miss like my cats back home so much. So I'm like, let me love you, all the kitties. Sorry, I get so distracted. Squirrel brain. Hello. I found like it took me a lot longer to get to that point. And when I finally found something that clicked, and again, like you were saying earlier about finally educating yourself on nutrition, I felt the same. When you finally kind of get out on your own and you're in charge of what you're putting in your body, that's when you can take the reins and be like, actually, I don't have to live the way I've always lived or live what I grew up watching. I can make my own choices, and I can choose to fuel my body with health. And don't get me wrong, Kaitlyn and I are very much about the treats too. And I use that word lightly, but that's just the word I like to use. I don't want people to associate it with you can only have, you know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah, it's just that's my word. I like to use that word. So we love our treats. We're very into the balance.
That word doesn't have a negative connotation to us. It might have to somebody else. So, choose whatever word that works for you. But
yeah,
I love my treats.
Right? Whatever word resonates for you. And we always, I think that's the point, is I went through so much life of restriction, and like, if you don't cut it down, it's not like it's bad, too much, and like just plain old like wouldn't let myself have things I fucking love.
Yes.
And not good either. It's not saying go eat ice cream all day, every day. But if you're feeling like you want some ice cream, go have some ice cream. Like,
take the word bad out of your vocabulary when you're talking about the foods that you like, because they're not bad foods. They're foods that you enjoy, right?
Yes.
Yeah. When you take that word out of the equation, then you can have whatever you want.
Exactly. And like, if it brings you joy.
Yes. And
Hello.
We are women. Sometimes we need extra carbs. Like,
legit. Okay, this is a science. Well, I don't want to quote anything, but I know it's scientific fact because I read it somewhere.
I was just gonna
Women, before your period, you may notice, Kaitlyn and I talk about this all the time, PMS week, which is premenstrual cycle, before the week before your period, your body is prepping for what it's about to go through. So I am extra hungry. I know. I'm like, oh, goddamn, I am PMSing. I can eat the world. Give me everything. You cannot satisfy me. Bottomless pit.
Yes, it's true. It's like science, facts, mic drop.
As a female, your body is preparing for a week of, I was going to say a week of hell, but that's probably a little dramatic.
That I would use.
Yeah. So it's, as I'm just speaking to the females who go through periods, if you're noticing stuff like that and you're extra hungry, take note. Where are you in your cycle? Because it could be your body's just prepping.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And I mean, the more you know about yourself too, I mean, you can take those things and realize like it's okay if you need extra food on this day, because this, right?
Mm-hmm. And our bodies are so fucking smart. Like, listen to your body.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I think too, when you educate finally about your food and like what you need, because for me too, portions were always a big thing. Like, I didn't know what portions were. Like, and okay. I just thought of the song. I was going to say, I love my carbs. Kaitlyn has an awesome song that she sang to me the other day. And I love it. I don't know if she'll sing it, but if she doesn't, I will, because it's great.
You sing it.
Okay. Does anyone know the Barbie Girl song by Aqua? I'm sure you do, but it's I'm a carby girl. I'm like, I am totally a carby girl. So that is our song. If you're a fellow carby girl, that's our theme song.
Oh my God. I forgot about
that. You probably didn't know where I was going with that. You're like, oh, what is she doing?
What did I do?
Oh my God. I died. When she said that, I was like, I love that. I was like, that is the new theme song, because we love our carbs. I love bread. I love bakeries. I love pasta, pizza. Yeah. I just love it. But I'm also aware I can't just eat that. That's not nutritional for my whole body. Like, you need to nourish your body. So learning portion control with that type of particular food was a big deal for me. But also too, like, I wasn't eating enough protein either. Like, I love veggies. I know that's weird for some people to hear, but I do. Yeah, cucumbers are like, oh my God, though. But Kaitlyn introduced me to cucumber chips. I don't know if any of you have seen these, but they're like, I think they're Lay's, but they're from like China, I believe. I think that's what it says on the top. You can find it where like there's more of the Asian types of foods in the grocery store. And I'm not going to lie, they do taste like cucumbers. And I'm like, God damn it. I'm like, cucumbers were like my crunchy snack, so I don't eat chips. But now I'm like last night, I'm not going to lie, I had cut up cucumbers and cucumber chips together.
I love that. Like a little sandwich.
I did put some of the chips on my sandwich too, actually.
That's a maritime thing to do.
Right? Yeah, anybody listening who's not from the Maritimes, we sometimes will put potato chips on our sandwiches.
Yeah, it's delicious.
It is crunchy. It's awesome. I was like, I just got on a tangent about cucumber and cucumber chips. So talking about how I do enjoy veggies. So I find like I usually get enough of that in my system because it's enjoyable. But, other food groups that maybe you just don't like, protein was a big one for me. It was just challenging for me to get enough. And like Also, like Caitlin was saying, when you're exercising, you have to take that into account. Like when I do F45, which is a very high intensity exercise, I have to eat more because my body is building muscle and I'm like, I'm starving. Even when I do yoga, that's a little less intense. So I don't notice as much of a hunger difference with that type of exercise. But with high intense, like Caitlin's a CrossFitter, so she can attest to this with the food.
Yes, for sure. Especially if, we're doing a lot of like weightlifting one day, afterwards I could eat the entire world for the rest of the day because my body just went through so much and I
Yeah.
and need to bring it back. But that's a big part of like recovery, right? Is eating enough food. And if you're an athlete, like recovery is so important and getting enough food is equally important. And if
Absolutely.
you're limiting your food intake because you're scared to eat, I mean, obviously if you're on a plan or something like that, as an athlete, sometimes we do track food. There's nothing wrong with that. You just need to separate it from your self-worth.
Yes.
And I mean, once you do that, you have that control, right? Where you don't tie what you're eating to, how you feel about yourself.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, I totally forgot what we were talking about.
It's a brain stop moment. We were just saying how like with different intensities of exercise, you need to correlate what you eat.
I'm sorry.
Oh, girl, literally, me. This Caitlin and I have same brain. Like we had a brain stop moment.
Yeah, so definitely, like if you're doing a really intense exercise, I mean, you're gonna need to, fuel up on protein and carbs. It's just life.
Yeah.
What you need to do.
And like I'll ask you this because I mean I've done CrossFit too, but you've done it for forever. Like eating certain things before and after you work out. Like let's talk on that a bit because I think sometimes too, again, we're not nutritionists, but we've walked the walk. So we know what works for our bodies. Perhaps it will also work for you. But in an exercise sense, like is it eating carbs before you work out is good because then your body can burn that energy?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, carbs are fuel.
Yeah.
And we need to stop making carbs the enemy because they're not, especially when you're doing workouts or you're an athlete. Carbs are not the enemy. They are your
They're
friend.
never the enemy. We're carby girls.
Carby girls, yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, carbs before your workout for sure. Like a lot of people eat, like fruit or something like that before workout for that extra energy. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, and there's nothing wrong with eating it after either. But if you're looking for a fuel source, I mean, I know some people who instead of taking a pre-workout will eat a banana and it gives them the same sort of result, right? So
Right.
yeah, totally.
And it's interesting because for me, my body, it's very different. If I'm doing high intensity like CrossFit or F45 or something to that effect, I literally can't eat within like a 2-hour window before I do that, or I'll want to throw up. Like, I don't know if it's maybe my body takes longer to digest. I don't know what that is. I'm not sure, but like it sits in my belly and I'm like, I'm going to vomit. Like I can't, it's just weird, but it's how I'm built, right?
And everybody's different, right? There's so many people that would say the same thing. I could probably eat 5 minutes before and be somewhat okay as long as it wasn't like a huge meal. Like if I ate half a banana before, like 15 minutes before my workout, I would be fine.
Yeah.
But some other people, they'd be like, I would be throwing up.
Yeah. And I think for me, that's why probably early morning workouts, even though it is hard for me to get up, it is better for me because I'll have my coffee and like again, pre-workout, it's like I have a slight allergy to caffeine. So I have to be careful with pre-workout or I will, like it makes me want to throw up. I can't. But coffee, I love me some coffee. Yeah, we love it.
But
yeah, it's just a small little allergy. I remember when my naturopath told me that and I was like, I'm not going to stop drinking coffee.
Yeah, no, I don't believe you.
No, but I just know my limits now because like if I can't drink too much, I can have it in the morning. I usually can't have it again or it just makes me feel sick. So.
And a lot of the times too, people who work out in the morning that cannot eat before, and if you're like me, you don't work out in the morning. But if I did work out in the morning, I'd be getting up like 5 minutes before I had to leave. But some people wake up earlier to eat, which is wild to me. But a lot of people will fuel up the night before. So if you're gonna in the morning, having like extra carbs that night would fuel you for the next day.
I think I definitely would do that, and I didn't notice I was doing it, but noted.
Yeah.
And you know what? Actually, whoa, I'm having memories right now to like a few months ago. I remember eating like a lot of carbs and then the next day being like, wow, like killing it.
I remember you telling this. Yeah.
I forgot about that.
I find if I'm going to do like a max out day, I'll eat all the carbs the day before, but also the day of because I don't work out in the morning. Not a morning.
Exactly.
It helps. It does.
And I think too, like how we've gotten to this place, it's definitely not been a simple journey. It's not been easy, not for me anyway. And I know Kaitlyn, so I'm not speaking. She'll tell you her side too. But I basically, for me, I did all the wrong things before I figured out what works for me. And I think too, even as I get older, it's still sometimes trial and error. Sometimes I still, like, I notice what worked or what I used to do, I don't necessarily do now. Like I definitely was one of those people who would keep a food journal. I would count calories and I would track, which again, we're saying this isn't necessarily a bad thing, but when it becomes obsessive, and like Kaitlyn said, if you're tying your self-worth to that, that's where you might want to take a step back and be like, okay, is this healthy mentally for me? Because yeah, like we're saying, like, especially if you're an athlete, like tracking your macros, things like that, like it's not the enemy. It's only the enemy if it's affecting and derailing your self-worth and your mental health.
Yes, exactly. Preach. It's
yeah, because
so many people will, think that tracking food and tracking macros and all of that is, I'm not sure what word I'm trying to find, but like, it's like you said, it's not the enemy. And it is only the enemy if you are tying your self-worth to it. I did that for a long time. I tied my self-worth to how I ate and then, or how I tracked my food. And then if I ate outside of what I had tracked, I would be like mortified. I would be panicking. I would think, okay, tomorrow I'm going to have to start all over. And it would do my entire brain. But now, if I wanted to track and if I wanted to, change, when I talk about like changing my body, I say changing my body composition.
I love that when you say that word.
Because it's not necessarily, I want to lose weight or I want to, get muscle or whatever, right? But it's, just wanted to change something about my body composition.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to tone your body how you see fit, whatever makes you feel happy, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing wrong with having those goals. There's absolutely nothing wrong with having those goals. But if your goal is to, drastically change your body because you think that you don't look great now, or if you think that you're...
I'll be happy when.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be happy when. There's no goal weight that you're going to achieve where you're going to be happy. If that's... If you're
living proof.
Self-worth, right?
It's true. So, I would be like the smallest I ever was, and you would still look at yourself and the body dysmorphia would come in and you're not seeing what you really like. Even now, sometimes people take my picture and I'm like, is that what I look like? Like in not in a bad way, but it's because my body dysmorphia is still very present for me. Like I don't know what I look like half the time.
I feel like so many people struggle with body dysmorphia and probably don't even realize that they're struggling with that. It's so hard. That's one of the things that I love about photography is when, women will come to me and say, oh my gosh, like I feel so beautiful in these photos.
Yes.
Like, it's not the photos, it's you.
How many times did I say that to you? I'm like, is that what I look like?
Yes, it is what you look like. You're stunning, beautiful, and you're perfect just the way you are. And oh my gosh,
that's why you're a great photographer. She's like so like you'll never not feel comfortable. Like Kaitlyn makes you feel fucking gorgeous no matter what. It's true. It's true. Anyone who wants photos done, you want that in a photographer, someone who you feel safe with,
Yeah, exactly.
It's so true. What was I saying? What were we saying? This is a brain stop. Oh my God, what were we saying?
We're talking about body goals. Body goals.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like how body goals are not, again, body goals aren't the enemy either. We're like, the whole point of this conversation is not to say that certain things are wrong. It only comes into effect, like we said, if it is derailing your self-worth, if you constantly look in the mirror and hate what you see, if you're squeezing your fat, or if you're trying to, let's say it's, maybe you're trying to gain more weight, maybe you have trouble gaining weight. It doesn't matter whatever side, it doesn't matter. It's still you, it's your body. Like getting to a place where you love yourself regardless, it's not an easy journey per se. Wasn't easy for me.
And, it's constant work. Like, I wish that there was, something that I could tell you that would, fix it immediately for you. Like, I really do, because it's heartbreaking to go through those feelings and to feel that. And it's like you're suffocating in yourself. And it can be really, really hard and really lonely. But yeah, I mean, it's just constant work. It's constantly like, using affirmations, or, there's a quote, I don't know who it's by, don't sue me, but it says, if you can't say anything nice about yourself, then practice. And so if you practice saying nice things about yourself, especially when you're in that mode of like, feeling down about yourself, we all do that all the time.
Of course.
I still do that. I still have days clothes all over my bedroom because I don't feel good in anything.
Yep.
You just take a step back and, say something nice about yourself, or, give yourself a hug. Like,
yes,
something.
It's true. Because like, even though you might feel silly doing it at first, because like it's weird. It's like anything. When it's not a habit in your daily routine or your weekly routine, your monthly routine, whatever, it's weird. It's like anything you try, but especially when you're talking to yourself and you're like, you're beautiful. Like it, and I'm just going to say from my own experience, I didn't believe myself the first time, didn't believe myself the fifth time. You know what I mean? It's a practice. It's like anything in life. You have to rewire that brain, honey. Yes. Honey, you got to rewire that brain, because like it's got a track that's like when you see something or hear something or whatever, it immediately goes this way. It's your brain is like, I'm not going to say it's a muscle because it's not, obviously, but it's like a muscle. The more you train it, the more you're going to redirect that neurological pathway to a positive thought about yourself. It takes fucking time, but it does work.
And you're the damn conductor.
Yes.
The damn conductor. Yes. Like you can, obviously, mental health is a real issue, and sometimes you just can't. Sometimes, as hard as you try, you're not going to get out of that place, and that's totally okay. And
if you need support, that's okay.
Yeah. And if you're going through a hard time right now, like there are so many resources now, and like therapy is beautiful. And
preach on that.
Look for help if you need help. Like it's
yes.
Yeah.
And like another thing Kaitlyn and I talk about a lot is what you're consuming. Who do you follow on Instagram? What are you looking at all the time? I'm saying right now, if you're looking at someone's page or whatever and it's not resonating and it's making you feel like shit, unfollow. It's not that you don't like the person. It's nothing personal. People need to stop taking that personal too. When someone unfollows you, it's not personal. It's because maybe you're doing something that's harming them, and that's fine.
Yeah, we don't realize how much control we have when it comes to social media. We can control what we see, and it takes some work to unfollow people and go through the motions. But I mean, I go through, as I see things that I'm like, oh, that makes me feel a certain way, then I unfollow and it'll never come up again. Or I think that there's ways to like, rewire Instagram. The algorithm. Like if you're searching for, certain things, like then it'll start to look for those things. Or, if you follow people that are, motivational and supportive, and it'll suggest people like that. I think I'm not super good at Instagram.
I know, and the algorithm changes so much too, but I do think there is some truth to that for sure, because certain pages, I follow a lot of like spiritual pages and like quotes and stuff like that, and I find a lot of times it'll, even on my tea page that I just made for Instagram, I don't like, I'm still in the process of building that and following people and things like that. Like I don't spend a lot of time there just yet, but it is suggesting a lot of like those types of pages that I like on my personal page. So I think there is
Yeah.
some correlation to that for sure,
Yeah.
but who
And
knows?
I find
This
too, like,
mysterious algorithm.
yeah. And I mean, on my personal page, I find who's coming.
The
Oh, sorry,
puppy.
Copper, yeah.
That's okay. We love the animals here.
But I find like if I'll post something, sometimes if I do like a big lift or something, like I'll post it on Instagram, then all of
Yeah.
a sudden all of these weight loss things will come into play because I posted something about the gym. But then you
Yes.
just have to, you can ignore those things and you can,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like we said, unfollow anybody, even if it's somebody that you love, it's okay. You can just,
Yeah.
like,
Exactly.
a
And on
friend.
Facebook, you're not unfriending. You can unfollow what you see
Yeah.
though. Like if it's causing you harm, it's not worth it. And
Yeah.
if someone you love truly loves you, they're going to understand that.
Yes. And they're probably not even going to know.
Yeah, exactly. Like a lot of times people don't notice that stuff. So just remember, honoring what speaks to you is important, and that's also a form of self-love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
100%. 110%. Um, I think too, like I'm trying to think like when things started to click for me and when things started to shift is obviously educating myself about food. I've worked with nutritionists, I've worked with people in that industry who are the pros. They do understand the
Yeah.
body. They understand. So from my experience, obviously do your research with who you decide to work with if you want to do that, but I worked with someone who I knew, and also she's very holistic and very like amazing. So I trusted her. Make sure you trust who you speak with too,
Yeah.
because that's important,
Mhm.
especially if it's a sensitive thing for you, which for me it very much is like
Mhm.
very sensitive kind of topic. So I wanted to make sure I felt comfortable with my nutritionist. So I educated myself a lot. And like Kaitlyn said too, the resources are endless. Be
Mhm.
smart about what you're reading because obviously it's the internet, anyone can do anything. But do your research, take your time. Don't jump the gun at the first thing you see. Like, take your time. And remember, we are all uniquely made. Our genetics are all different.
Mhm.
What responds for my body might not respond for Kaitlyn. And it can result even in your skin, your hair. There's certain things we may have intolerances to. So don't think that just because this works for me or her, it's, you know what I mean? It's okay to play with it to see
Yep.
what works.
Absolutely. Yep. Totally agree.
Yeah. And like, just remember when you're exercising too, I think it's very important for people to remember you're honoring your mind, body, and spirit when you're doing that. And think how good you feel after you exercise, those endorphins, even though maybe it might be challenging while you're trying to nail that lift. But when you do nail that lift, girl, ugh,
Yes.
celebration. Like I'm literally picturing Kaitlyn. She's strong as fuck. Like watch her Instagram because she posts some crazy ass things. Like I could remember being in that gym with her and being like, my jaw's on the floor. Like, how are you lifting that right now? And the great thing is Kaitlyn's so supportive and sweet, like, cause like I would get in my head a lot with certain lifts and I'd be scared. I'm like, I don't want to put this over my head. It's like heavy. And she'd be like, just do it. You could do it. And it was the cutest little way she'd say it. And I'm like, okay. And then I would just do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I do it. Or there'd be lifts like thrusters. And I'm like, I'm not doing it.
I
I'm not
remember your,
doing it.
I
My
remember your
thruster
not
face.
doing it moments.
Oh yeah. I'm like, I don't want to do this. This does not bring me joy. I'm not doing it.
Oh my gosh, it's so true. And I mean, if we're talking about like changing, your health and the way you view fitness and all of that, like if what you feed your mind and your soul are just as important as your nutrition. And it's just such a huge part of living a healthy lifestyle that we don't talk about enough either. As
Mm,
especially like we said on social media, it's such a culprit of robbing your brain of those positive, thoughts.
yep.
And it's, you just feel like you're constantly comparing yourself to others. And if you're seeing a full Instagram of just weight loss stuff, or, somebody like lose 10 pounds in a week or whatever, like, it's not healthy. And
Mm-mm.
what your brain hears and sees, it's important, and we got to take charge of that.
Exactly. And like, I'm just saying, if it says it's a quick fix, it's probably not very good for you. Because think about it with your body, it didn't get to where it is overnight. you're not going to change it overnight either. And why would you want to? Like, you're rushing a process that could be a very like spiritual, like endearing process to you. Like for me with this journey, I finally love myself no matter what. And like we said, yes, we have our off days. Of course we do. But like I got the curves and swerves, and for once I fucking love them. I'm like, I rock my curves, and like I do have to give some props to the body positivity movement, because I see more people that look like me now, and it is celebrated having curves and like working it. You know what I mean? And as a
Absolutely.
younger person, it was not celebrated. It was like, mm-mm. And now it's like, some people, that's their body goals, is to have the curves and swerves. And I'm like, I love my curves and swerves. Yes, there's certain things I would like to work on, but they're
Yeah.
not consuming me. I'm not mad about it. I'm just like, this is cool. I'm cool with where I'm at. And again, I think everyone's journey is very unique to them.
Yeah.
And it's a combo action, right? Fuel
Yeah.
your body, but eat what brings you joy. Educate yourself. Exercise in a way that brings you joy. And if you need to switch it up, like I do, I switch it up all the time. I have certain things that are very constant, like yoga. I'll never get sick of that. Dancing, I'll never get sick of that. Boxing, like certain things I know I'll never get sick of. Actually, F45 too, I love, because it's always different. Find
Yeah.
what works for you.
Yeah.
There's so much out there. Like,
There's so much. Yes.
and it comes with the mental, what you're feeding yourself.
Yeah, it really does. Like, take charge of your social media, take charge of your surroundings, take charge of who
Mm-hmm.
you surround yourself with. It's so important. Throw away your scale or put it somewhere if it's bothering you. I didn't have a scale for years because every time I
Mm-hmm.
looked at it, I wanted to throw up. And
Yeah,
see, that's not a way to live, and I don't have to have one of those. What's it doing?
exactly.
It's just a number,
Exactly.
right?
Oh
So,
my God, the scale. Let's talk about the scale. Oh my God, the relationship with the scale. That's a big one.
my God.
I technically have one. I haven't stepped on it probably for a year. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because it's like, if I feel the need to do that, I will.
Yeah.
But it's a delicate dance sometimes, because sometimes those numbers do look a certain way. And in society or magazines, I'm thinking of in particular, like it'll say how much celebrities weigh. And I'm again using air quotes because I guarantee that's probably not true. But
Yeah,
also,
it's true.
like the way our bodies look, like I could look like flat, not saying I have a flat stomach, but I could look like, flat stomach, you know, in shape. And maybe that scale number might say a number that would shock some people. Like it might be heavier because I have muscle mass or I have whatever. So you can't tie the number on the scale to your worth either. It's your relationship with gravity. That's it.
Exactly. When I started working out, actually, in the beginning, I actually gained weight, but my body composition changed, and
Mm-hmm.
it was shocking to some people. They were like, "You don't look like you weigh that." But like, what does that look like? What does that really look
Exactly. Oh, say it again for the people in
like?
the back.
Yeah, like, and it's just as simple as, if it bothers you, tuck it away, put it in a closet, let it collect dust,
Throw it
because
out.
throw it in the trash.
Throw it off your balcony.
It truly means nothing. It truly means nothing. It doesn't dictate your fitness level. It doesn't dictate your health and wellness. It doesn't dictate the state of your mental health. It does nothing for your body other than give you data. And if you need that data, that's fine. Get a scale,
Yeah.
use it at your leisure. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're tying your self-worth to the scale, and if you get on it and you cry, or even if you get on it and you celebrate, that's also not so great, right?
Yeah.
So it goes both ways. So if,
Yes.
throw it in the trash. Just throw it in the trash.
Yeah. Throw it in the trash. You know what I actually love is I did a couple like challenges just for fun at F45 because it was fun. It was community building. And I wasn't doing it to lose weight. I was just doing it to challenge myself, to work out. I worked out pretty much 5 days a week consistently. And that was great because it was honoring my health. I was getting the endorphins. It was setting my day up for success. Again, for me working out, I always wanted to be a 5 a.m. girl who did that. And I never could commit. And then I don't know what happened since I moved here. I became one of those people at F45.
I
But
don't
you want to know when the traffic's not bad at that time? That's probably the biggest reason. I was like, I don't want to drive in traffic and there's nobody on the roads at this time. So it's perfect. But it also, you have to look at how do you feel after? Like I would have the best days because I was like, yeah. I was all pumped on those endorphins for the rest of my day. But what they did with those challenges was they have a crazy scale there where it actually like,
yes,
you know what I'm talking about. It's like
my scale, right?
that thing, yeah. And it shows you how much muscle mass you have, your skeletal mass, like your bones, how much water's in your body, like what the left side is compared. It totally analyzes your body. And again, I'm sure maybe they're not entirely accurate. I don't know how those work, but they seem pretty accurate. And I found that was more interesting to me because after you do your 45-day challenge, for whatever your reasons may be, you can literally see what did my muscles do? What did my body fat do? And it wasn't a bad thing. And yeah, my weight would go up, but my fat would go down and my muscles would increase. So that was kind of cool to see. So maybe for some of you, that might speak to you more.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're somebody who, geez, sorry, that scared me.
I know. It was like, ding.
It keep happening. But if you're somebody who like, I have some friends that love data, and data is something that I'm like, it's like a love language for them.
Yeah, it speaks to them. Some people are like that.
Yeah, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with collecting data about yourself. Just don't tie it to your self-worth and don't let it destroy your soul.
Yes, don't let it destroy your soul. We want to preserve that beautiful soul. It's true, because if you can get to that point where like, or if that's how you're wired, if you love data, or if you can get to the point, because I'm an artist, I'm very like I mean, data's cool, but it's not my bread and butter. You know, I was like, I will take the bread, hold the butter. Like,
oh my God, I love that.
Yeah, I don't like butter, guys. But like, oh God, I just brain stopped thinking about bread. I'm like, I want some bread now.
Out the window.
Oh my God. That's a funny story. Yeah, I don't also like cheese. Again, a lot of people like cheese. I just don't love it. And I think Kaitlyn was picking me up for work or something. And I got a sandwich from Tim's and it had fucking cheese on it. And I said no cheese. And like the amount of times they screw up my orders at drive-thrus is countless. So I was like, fuck this cheese. And I threw it out the window because I was like, it's food. Someone will eat it. It'll be fine. Because I am not a litterer. I'm going to throw that out now. I don't like when people litter. No. But if it can decompose and an animal could eat it, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
And I threw it out the window. So I went and parked this is why, because I had to park my car in a different area. So she was going to grab me and take us up to work. So she got me. I told her the story. Was it gone when we went up or was it still there?
It was still there. I was like, I think I see a piece of cheese over there.
That was mine. I think by lunchtime it was gone though. So I was like, okay, someone got some food today. A little squirrel or a bird.
A crow, probably.
Probably a crow. That was my vision too. I was like, definitely a crow was like jackpot. Give me that cheese.
Oh gosh, yes.
That's a funny story for today. Oh my God. I keep getting so distracted because I'm like, that was such a funny day. I wish we took a video of that cheese.
Oh gosh. We laugh so hard. We have some good stories that are
oh God, too many
would get, but
oh, so funny. But yeah, back to like what we're saying with the data and stuff. Like if you can get to a point where it can benefit you and it's not going to derail your process, absolutely, it's okay.
Yeah,
nothing wrong with that. And I think too, when you look at yourself with kindness and compassion and love, and stop being so fucking hard on yourself, guys, because I am the queen of being hard on yourself. And guess what? It doesn't work. It doesn't work. I don't respond. I know myself. I've said this to Kaitlyn a million times. I'm like, I respond to positivity. Why am I tearing myself apart when I know that's not the tea for me? Like, no. I don't respond.
Why do we do it? Like, really, when you think about it. Why do we do it? What does it change? Like nothing.
Exactly. And like, it's wild too, because I just thought of like the diet industry. I forgot we were going to touch on that, but like, we might as well touch on it now. Yeah. It feeds off of our insecurities. And like, It's still present today very much. I don't think it's as toxic as it was when we grew up. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but from my memory, or maybe it's because I'm in a different place now, I don't view it as toxically because I don't look at it. I'm like, not for me.
You know
But
what I think that it has done? I think the reason you think it's not there or is not as prominent anymore is because they've redefined their tricks.
yes,
And they make it so that if you're somebody who doesn't want a diet, they're like, this isn't a diet. This is a lifestyle.
a lifestyle.
Else, right? So then in your brain, you're like, well, it's not a diet. And so now we're thinking that diet culture isn't as bad or isn't as prominent, but it's still very prominent.
They've moved with us.
Learned new tricks.
Yeah. And I'm a marketing girl. So like I can see I know what they're doing. I'm like, yes. And even me knowing that, it still can still work. Like I obviously have bought into things. And like I used to do coaching for Beachbody, and I still will say the workouts are great. It's not that it's a bad company. I'm never going to say that because it benefited me a lot. Like I did learn a lot from that. But it is very much, they've moved it that way too, like lifestyle and like that kind of vibe. And again, it's not saying it's bad. It definitely, it can work for people if it's what, again, I don't want anyone to think I'm saying it's bad because it's not. Because like I still think the workouts, they offer everything for everyone. If you can't get to a gym and you need to work out from home, get their workouts, because why not, right?
Even when you think of name though, right? Beachbody, like what's a beach body? Everybody's a beach body.
Yes.
Even if you don't work out, even if you don't enjoy movement, you still got a beach body. Like,
yeah, girl. Yeah, you do. Work that body. Baby, where'd you get that body from?
I'm waiting for those promotional emails to start coming in now that it's like springtime. Like,
I thought you were going to say now that we said it out loud, our phones listen to us.
Oh my God. Probably if I looked right now, there'd be like 10. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that good data tracking, right? But what was I saying? Oh my God, we're talking about Beachbody. Why was I talking about that?
Diet industry.
Oh yeah, but how you're saying how it moves with the times. It's true, because they definitely don't use the same verbiage that they used to use. Maybe some do. Again, I don't look at it, so I'm not the expert in what it looks like right now because I know it's not for me. So I'm just like, nope. But I think a big key is when you educate on your body, you kind of figure out what you need, then you can start to be more intuitive with your eating. I think that's where I'm at now. Like, I don't really measure things. I don't count things. I'm not trying to change my body composition in this moment. So maybe if I was trying to do something like that, I would be more mindful of that. But once you kind of gauge what works for you nutritionally, you can listen to your body. And like, sometimes I'm like, I just need something warm right now. Like I want something like soup. I love soup. So I'm like, it's always a soup day for me. But, listen to what your body wants.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I do that on the daily. I'm like, today, just last week, I was like, it was raining and it was a gloomy day. And I was like, I just want chili.
Yeah.
And I drove around looking for chili all day. I really wanted that. And it's just like you said. And I mean, even if you were like keeping track of your meals, you can still track that stuff, right?
Yes.
But
it's so true. And also too, when we talk about exercise, you don't have to do something. Hi, Copper. Hi, puppy. Oh my God, Benson's like, what? Huh?
And now tell us about the dogs.
Yeah, I hope you're watching on YouTube because you're going to get to see both our beautiful puppies. Oh my God. Hi, Copper. You hear Auntie? Oh my God.
He's looking at you.
Benson's like, who are you talking to? Oh my God.
Day job calls, he'll come in and all you can see is just a tail.
Yes. It's like they know. Benson always, if he knows I'm on video, he's like, I'm the star. Look at me. But when we're talking about exercise too, don't feel like you have to go join a gym if that's not your thing. Walking is so underrated. I walk every day because I have a dog, so obviously I have to. But like my body has changed in a positive way for me just from walking.
Yeah. And even just the way that walking will make you feel. Like, actually, a pandemic is when I started walking, because it's the only thing that I could do, because the gym's closed down, and that was traumatic for me as the
Yes.
gym almost every single day, and lives it, and that's literally where all of my friends are. That was traumatic, and those feelings are valid. I'm just
Yes,
like
absolutely.
transported back to when that was just devastating. But anyway, so I started walking, and we used to do these like little challenges, like walk 5K a day or something like that, right? But when I first started, my body hurt so much. Like, it hurt so much. And I am somebody who squats and lifts and does ridiculous workouts some days.
Yes, you do.
I'm alive. But walking ruined my soul.
Yes.
Like, my hips would hurt, my back would hurt, and I was like, what on earth is this exercise? This is insane. And so I just kept doing it. I was like, okay, like, I got to keep doing this, because like, you walk every single day of your life. Yes. Why does it hurt me to walk? Like, it was insane. So yeah, walking is probably the most underrated exercise in the entire world, because we literally have to do it every day. And if you start and you're like me and your back really hurts, don't give up, because
engage those ab muscles.
It gets used to it. And now I can walk with no problems. Thank God. Hi, honey.
I know. I'm like, hi. We keep seeing the dog.
Oh, it's because we're talking about walking.
Oh, no. We keep saying that word. Oh, no. That's probably why he was looking at me, too. He's like, what?
But yeah, we go for walks every day. Almost every, yeah, we do. We go for walks every day. And it's good for the mental health. It's good for the physical health. It's good to get blood flowing, especially if you have a sedentary job.
Yes.
Sedentary job. Yeah. And you're sitting all day. It's just, it's
movement is medicine. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I was gonna say, and walking is so easy on the joints, but then you were like, and my back hurt. I was like, oh, maybe not. But like your knees and stuff. No, like, it's not like running, where running's very hard on the joints.
Yeah, it's very low impact, but it's good for your joints. Is probably a better way to say that, right? It's good for your joints to keep them moving. Yeah.
Absolutely. So like that's and like connecting with nature. I always feel like I bring things back spiritually, but that's very important to me, and it speaks to me. Like Kaitlyn said, mentally, like you can throw your headphones on if you want to, or if you don't want to, whatever. And literally, like I would have some of the most beautiful moments connecting with myself just from walking, because like you just take in the sights, look at the trees, the ocean, whatever's around you, and it allows you to connect with self. It's a form of meditation when you think of it. If you are connecting with self because you're not really thinking, you're allowing your brain that time to relax, because we do live in a high stress kind of world, especially in North America, very corporate, very go, 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 hustle, hustle, la, la, la. When it's like, no, take a step back. Allow yourself to connect, and you're also moving your body, getting the blood flowing, all the scientific parts of it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just win-win. And it's not scary. It's not a scary thing, because we do it all the time.
Yeah, we do it all the time. Throw on your favorite Crime Junkie episode.
Yes. Throw on the tea with KG.
Or the tea, yeah. Sorry.
Kaitlyn is obsessed with crime podcast.
Really Crime Junkie right now. Yeah, it's been kind of good, kind of probably not great, but probably not the best for your mental health, but
if it's something you enjoy, right?
Yeah, I've learned some things. Mostly don't trust anybody.
Yes. I don't think I should watch that now that I live in a city.
Oh, no.
Or listen to that.
Don't do it. Just
I get scared easy. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I guess for me, what I'm going to say kind of as we reach the end, Kaitlyn's got some awesome words, wisdom we'll close with, but when it comes down to it, love yourself, even if it's hard at first. Keep practicing. Say those affirmations. Write a sticky note on your mirror. You are beautiful. You are worthy. You are valuable. Whatever speaks to you. Put that on your mirror and look at it every single day. Write it in lipstick on your mirror if you don't mind cleaning that off later. Like, do whatever it takes to fuel your mind, because it starts with the mind, then it translates to the rest. And when you are feeling good with your mental health, not saying every day's great, because I have bad days. Kaitlyn has bad. We all have off days where it's like, ugh. But when you practice, it makes it easier to snap back into a good frame of mind. It makes it easier if you have a support system. Like like one of your besties. Like Kaitlyn and I talk about stuff like this all the time, and we keep it real with each other. We're not sugarcoating it. It's like, look, I'm going to talk about this right now. Even if, like, let's say, that thought is not serving you, sometimes it helps to get it out of your body, release. It don't stay there too long, but allow yourself to release.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree.
Yeah. So start with that. Show yourself some love and compassion. Celebrate that body, baby. Like, celebrate that motherfucking body. Like, no matter what your gender is, no matter if you're a mother, a parent, whatever. I'm just going to shout out to the moms right now. Girl, you carried a beautiful life in that body. Look what your body can do. Sometimes if you're doubting yourself, look what that body can do for you.
Moms are superhuman, and I don't know how they do the things and have children.
Oh, they're fucking super women. I'm like, I bow down to you, mothers.
I was like just about to do that. Like, please, like, I love your feet. Like,
yes, legit. Like, you're fucking amazing. And like,
amazing.
You carried a child and gave birth to him or her. Like, hello. So show that body some love, and remind yourself, oh, my body did this. It's pretty fucking phenomenal. Like, love yourself. That it always comes down to that, because it equates to your worth, and you are worthy. You are valuable. You are enough. That is my hype girl statement for you today. Kaitlyn is going to close us off with some awesomeness. I just wanted to make sure I said all those good things.
I love it. I love all of that. Oh my gosh, it's so true. So this is a quote. I do know who it's by, actually. So you don't have to sue me now. By Caroline. Okay, hopefully it's by Caroline Caldwell. If it's not, then you know the drill. It says, in a society that profits from your self-doubt, loving yourself is a rebellious act. Just take a second with that for a second. Like, think about
that. Say it again.
In a society that profits from your self-doubt, loving yourself is a rebellious act. Like, society sucks.
Short to the point. Society sucks.
And it's seriously, it profits from all of the things that we think are wrong with ourselves that are not. Be rebellious about how you love yourself. Do it.
Yeah.
Don't feel it. Do it. There's no normal body. There's no weight that you're going to achieve that's going to make you feel a certain way. You have to separate your self-worth from how you look and start to just love it. Like, your body's there to support you. Your body does so many good things for you. You have to thank it every single day, because we only get one. We only get one. And at the end of this life, nobody is going to remember what your body looked like. They're going to remember your soul. They're going to remember all of the beautiful things that you did in this life.
You're not going to have someone saying your eulogy saying, Kaitlyn Jardine, beautiful body. That's not going to be the first thing someone says.
Oh my God, no. They're probably not going to say that at all.
Right? Because that's not what matters at the end of the day. It's who you are.
No. So yeah, learning to love yourself right now as you are. You know, if you have goals, if you want to change your health, if you want to change your wellness, if you want to start exercising, you know, you need to realize that, you know, a huge part of your health and wellness is your mental health and your soul. Yes. And you need to realize that that's probably more important than not probably, it absolutely is more important than what you look like.
Yes.
So yeah, just remember those things, and you're perfect just the way you are. You don't need to change yourself. And yeah, that's my words of wisdom.
I love that. Can you say that quote just one more time, just so people can remember it?
Yes. So it's, in a society that profits from your self-doubt, loving yourself is a rebellious act.
Wow.
I know.
Wow. Let that sink in, people.
Yeah.
Like, you're in charge of your destiny. Mm-hmm. And I know some people thrive off rebellion, so go be rebellious. Go love that self. Like, you're the only person who, yes, you have support systems who have your back, but you have your back the most. Mm-hmm. And if you're being a bully to yourself, what is that, honey? Stop that.
Exactly. Yeah. Practice saying nice things to yourself every single
day. And be grateful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love that. I like that you said that when you were speaking earlier. You said, I mean, you might have said thanking your body, but
Yeah.
it's true. Be
Mm-hmm.
grateful for that because we're here, we're alive, we're breathing. That's a beautiful fucking thing.
Yeah. Don't take that for granted. Like just existing right now is so beautiful. Mm.
Yes, honor your health. It comes back to honoring and respecting yourself. If you
Mm-hmm.
expect others to respect you, you need to start respecting yourself too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yay. Oh my God. Well, thank you so, so, so much for joining us today. Oh my God, we had such a great conversation. I'm so happy that we did this. I think this is just such an important topic, and it's probably one we'll touch on again as we keep going with these episodes because we just kind of shared our experiences, and I'm sure there's more we could share, but we just kind of spoke from the heart about our stories, and hopefully this resonates with some of you. I'm sure it will because if we're feeling this, we're not alone. We're not the only ones.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. This is such a
Yeah.
conversation.
Oh,
It's so good right now.
yay. Thank you so much. Like, I'm just so blessed to have you join us and share your beautiful story and wisdom with us because you've got an amazing story and you're a beacon like of light, and your journey with health is so inspiring. So I know that others will definitely resonate with what you've had to say today.
You're so sweet. Thank you.
It's true. It's all true. I love it. Yay. Okay, well, that is tea time, everybody. Thank you so much for bringing your beautiful energy into this conversation with Kaitlyn and I today. We really appreciate it. Oh, and if you'd like to connect with Kaitlyn, you can let them know what your Instagrams are. Like she has two, so if you'd like to share, you can.
Yeah, so my personal Instagram is Kaitlyn, just at Kaitlyn Jardine. And I share a lot of gym related things on there. A lot of the times,
Yeah.
lifts and stuff, it'll be on there. So that's where you can find me doing kind of cool stuff.
Yes. And what's
And
your
then,
photography?
yeah, and then my photography page is Kaitlyn Jardine Photography, no spaces or extra hyphens or anything like that. And yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So if you'd like to check her out, that'll be there. It'll also be, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to have all the links there. If you're listening on podcast, just head on over. If you can't find her, just find my Instagram and she's there.
Yeah.
But the spelling and stuff of her name will be on all the graphics. So there shouldn't be any trouble to find her if she resonated with you today. So thank you so much. Sending love and light to all of you as always. And that's tea time. Bye.